Can you really buy a home with no money down? Now, if you're a first time home buyer, you probably have heard about zero down mortgages and buy a home with no money down. And while that is true in the essence of you're not bringing a down payment, you are probably not going to be able to purchase a home with no money out of your pocket, period. The reason I say that is when you write an offer on a house, you're going to have to put some kind of earnest money deposit. That is just a signal to the seller that you are operating in good faith. And any money that you put down as earnest money will be credited to the amount of money that you might need to bring to closing. And if you don't need to bring money to closing, you will get that money back at the closing table. So if you're a first time home buyer and you're buying a $250,000 house, you can probably get by with putting $250,000, $500 down as a down payment. The second thing you're going to have to do is once you do get under contract, is you're going to have to pay for that home inspection. That's an expense that has to be paid by the buyer out of pocket. That's not something you can ask the seller to pay. That's going to be an expense that you bear. And depending on the size of the house, those are typically going to range between $350 and $500. The third thing you're going to have to pay for is the appraisal. Lenders are going to require that you pay for the appraisal before they order it. The reason for that is, let's say something happens along the way and the appraisal gets done and the deal dies for whatever reason. Maybe the appraised value wasn't enough. Maybe the appraiser comes up with some noted repairs that the seller isn't willing to make and you as the buyer don't have the money to pay for. Then the deal dies, right? That appraiser has already done their job. That appraiser has to be paid regardless of whether the deal closes or not. So those are three things that you're going to have to pay. So while you may not have to make a down payment, you're typically going to be investing probably close to $1,000, $1,200 by the time you've paid earnest money, home inspection, and appraisal fees. So don't think you can buy a home and not have to pay anything down. You will have to pay some expenses, but you may not have to make a 3.5% down payment.